next item is consider the capital improvement projects. I'd like to read through those. The first one was renovate Veterans Field, built in 1974, and the estimated cost was $1 million. Looks like it was Gary, Stewart, Mark Pepper, and the mayor on that committee. The next one was renovate swimming pool area at the Rec Com, built in 1989. Estimated cost was $1 million. Looks as though Brent, the mayor, and John Rock were on that committee. Next one was fire station number 3, built in 1982. Estimated cost of $500,000. Tony, Gene, and the mayor were on that committee. The next was the addition to the Heritage Center. The estimated cost was $500,000. Looks like Keith, Judy Weaver, and the mayor were on that. Turn it over to you. With that, I'd like to make a motion to approve all 4 of the capital projects.
I have a motion, do I have a second?
A second.
Any discussion?
I'd like to know that if this happens to be approved, the additional money, and once this is bid out and these projects don't actually take this much money, is there a way that we can, what do we do with the additional money if we're over on a project? Mr. Kimber, do you have an answer, or can you give us an idea of what that could be used for?
It could be used for any capital purpose, it's authorized.
So we would have to go back through and authorize an additional capital improvement project?
If you had it.
Okay, thank you.
Any other discussion?
Yeah, I have a question. The last time this came up, we didn't even get a motion. Of course, you still tried tonight, we did a motion. But when have we really met and talked about all this and changed our mind? I don't recall any such meeting, at least I wouldn't. But if you think about it, my objections at the time was, one, we don't know what the stock market's going to do, and sure enough, the bottom come out. We didn't know what the interest rate was going to do, and sure enough, it's going up for the first time in all these years, and will again very soon. The only thing that hadn't happened that I talked about was a disaster, national disaster, based on a terrorist attack. God forbid that won't happen, but it's out there. It could. It seems to me that it's an awful lot of money. We really haven't sat down and we just said, how much do you think it would take to do the rec center? Oh, $1 million. How about the Heritage Center? Oh, $500,000. How about the fire department? Oh, $500,000. And then the other project is $1 million. And as again, as I discussed that time, very soon, in the next year or two, we're probably going to have to do another sale at the landfill. That's another $2 million. We're going to have new garbage trucks throughout and other equipment. That's another $1 million. That's $3 million. What are we going to do then? We're going to go back and get another bond issue. Where does it stop? To me, I don't really understand why we're doing all this right now, why we can't pick the most needed situation, borrow money locally, fix it, come back to the next, and the next, and the next, till we get them all done. Because we don't know what else is going to happen, and another $2 or $3, $4, $5 million pops up, and we could get ourselves in trouble. And that's the only thing that really concerns me. I just don't think we've researched it enough, one, and we're considering what it can do to us, too, if things go bad. And the bad part about it, if we were going to be here from now on, that might be a little bit different, but we're going to lay this in somebody's lap, and they're the ones going to have to pay. Traditionally, we're not going to stay that long here, and I probably outlive my usefulness because I'm on my 3rd term. I think there are only a few people who's ever done that. And, I'm really concerned about us making a gigantic $3 million error. That's all I can say.
I was
listed on the agenda. Because as Mr. Smith says, I don't think there's been any changes to the proposal. And I've got, several concerns. The first of which is just general math. We talk about a $3 million bond issue, but in reality, the last projections I saw, and if you look at the ones that are included, it's actually approximately a $4.5 million payback over 20 years. So let's call it what it is, a $4.5 million commitment for our city over the next 20 years. And I'm not against any of these projects. I think that they all have merit. I will concur with Mr. Smith, and it seems a little rushed and thrown together. I think the retcom is the pool area is priority. The issue I have there is, that proposal includes a 20% contingency. And I've been on some pretty major federal contracts, some with NASA that had potential loss of life that didn't have a 20% contingency. And my experience is if there's a contingency there, it's going to be used. Right, so that is my only concern. Is it seems like we're being very generous with our overage, on the retcom, and I believe the first responders at Firehouse number 3 deserve better living conditions. But as I've said before, I have issue with tearing down an infrastructure of 2,000 square feet to build back approximately 2,800 square feet. And I've looked at the proposed plans, and I would challenge anybody to show a tremendous increase in functionality or efficiency. I think the same thing can be accomplished through a renovation and addition to that firehouse. I spoke to Chief Dahl, and not that long ago, this body considered tearing down the old city hall and rebuilding a police station, and they, after much deliberation, that the body made the decision to renovate the existing structure, and I think the result is a state-of-the-art facility. And I don't think that anybody thinks that was a mistake. I think that I know that there's some council members and other members of the community that have young men that are outstanding ball players and athletes, and I think they deserve a top of the line facility to play in. But there again, I think that can be done. Anytime we do a bond issue, there's a certain amount of fees that are fixed in that bond issue. So my concern is, again, in 2.5 years or so, we're going to be looking at having to do an additional bond issue for the landfill expansion. So we're going to pay fees, and then about the time these projects get off the ground, get finished, we're going to be paying those fees again to do that next bond issue. So, and I think an expansion at the Heritage Center could be beneficial, but there again, I haven't seen a well thought out plan of how to utilize that facility and make it pay off for the Heritage Center and the city. I'd just like for there to be some more thought and planning put into this. And I feel like it's a little premature at this point. Again, I hate to agree with Mr. Smith, but I mean, if it were my project, I would probably look at short-term renovation of the pool and perhaps some renovation and revisit these issues in the next 1 to 2 years when we're looking at the landfill, so we can combine those projects to take advantage of the fees, combining the fees. That's all I'm going to say.
Is there any other discussion?
Yes, I'd like to say something. When this originally came up a few weeks back, we talked about, well, we really didn't make a decision. We decided not to vote, nobody put forth a vote for it. But I think the reason I didn't is because I wanted a little bit more information as to where the money was going. That's the reason we broke these out into different boards that we could actually discuss, or committees where we could discuss these and get a little more in-depth information. And I felt like that as far as the one I was concerned with, Veterans Park, I felt like I got more information and found exactly what I was looking for. And I guess I'd like to add also that you're right, I have a young child. I have a 10-year-old boy who loves to play baseball. And saying that, I've also traveled to a lot of cities around North Alabama, South Tennessee, and even in Georgia. And I've seen facilities that other cities smaller than ours have. Our Mines Field is a great facility. It was built mainly for softball. We've used it for baseball, which is a great thing. But I've seen other facilities around North Alabama, as I said, in smaller towns that are much nicer than Veterans Field. And I say that myself. I worked at Veterans Field as a kid for several years. Took care of it, and at the time it was a very nice place. Also, that was 40 years ago, 35 years ago. And the field itself, the fields, they need to be renovated. When you renovate these things and you start bringing in tournaments, it brings in income to the city. I know myself, I've spent a flipping fortune going to ball games, ball parks all over Alabama, and staying in hotels, eating in restaurants. And when you do have a facility that you are proud of and you can rent it out for those purposes, you end up making some money. The city would definitely see some dividends from it. I think also with the swimming pool, I know that's also a money maker in that they come from all over the state for swimming meets. I've been that route too. I've seen the other facilities, and our facility definitely needs some serious work. But I guess that's my passion. My son will be grown in a few years, but I look beyond that. What's it going to do with us for the next 10 to 15 years? I think it'll bring income into the city. And I think that's one of the main purposes that I ran for office, was to see the city grow and see us have better opportunities for kids, for our children and their children. And I guess that's my passion about this project. That's all I have.
Thank you, Gary. Anyone else have anything to say?
May I say one more thing? I was listening to Mr. talk, and he said the night that we brought this up, we didn't know, no one made a motion, basically, I think is what he was saying. And that's why we set up these committees. Well, I wasn't involved in setting up any committees. I didn't even know we were going to have a committee. I thought you came up with that on your own. I don't understand where those conversations took place. But if we all were not going to be a part of that conversation, because the night you did that, when we didn't get a motion, I thought it was dead for the moment, but then you resurrected it by forming these committees. And then he just said that that's why we did these committees. So I don't understand all that.
Maybe I need to explain myself. That's why we were appointed to these committees. I had no idea that I was going to be on the committee, to be quite frank.
Any other discussion? If I may, because I feel like I'm at fault for all this, because I brought it up originally, but the other ones have to vote on it. I just kind of brought it up. But, you know, we're not talking about where the money's coming from tonight. You know, when I presented this originally to y'all, and it has been since the 1st of December that this has been out there. So I don't feel like it's anything that's been rushed in. And those 2 or 3 weeks in between of when the committees were appointed, when it was first brought up, there was not the first question asked of me, what about this, what about that? And the committees were put together. I met with all the committees but one. And I think they were good discussions back and forth. But you know, the bond issue that was discussed was for 15 years, not 20, although 20 was an option, but I think 15 is what we looked at. Is that correct, Mr. Willard? That was the option you were going to go, was 15, I think.
Yes.
We looked at, I mean, it was 15, 20, 25, but I think, that's one. But you also had local bank rates from several of the banks in town as an option. So, I think you need to decide, just in my opinion, again, just my opinion, before you want to do the projects, then we'll, the $3 million is $3 million. And, if it costs more than that, then we cut back, if wherever it falls short. But we're not going to get any better numbers on these figures than we've got right now until we hire somebody to give us those numbers. And there's no need of hiring someone until we know that we're going to do these projects. The $1 million, yeah, that's a lot of money, but when you looked at that, those ball fields have been there for 40 years. $1 million over 40 years is $25,000 a year. $1 million over 30 years for that swimming pool, whatever that is, I didn't add that up. So, the fire department's been there for 30 years, so I think they're good projects. These are quality of life projects that people will be looking at when Google people come to town, or anybody else as far as that goes. And then the public safety from the fire department. So, I support these projects. I supported them from the beginning. It's your decision, and we'll go forward whichever way you want to go forward. But the financing, there's nothing settled on that. Y'all can decide on that how you want to. I think you just need to make a decision on what you want to do if you want to go forward. Again, it's y'all's decision.
There's not any further discussion. Do a roll call vote. Ms. Phillips.
Mr. Gary Stewart,
Yes.
Mr. Miller,
Yes.
Mr. Wallingsford,
No.
Mr. Smith,
No.
Mr. Patrick Stewart.
Yes. Go to item number 4. Consider ordinance number 589, fixing the salary of the mayor and the council. Ms. Phillips, you want to read over that for us?
Yes, this ordinance will fix the salary of the mayor and council for the next 4 years. Beginning November 1st, 2016, it will be $76,000. November 1st, 2017, $78,000. November 1st, 2018, $80,000, and November 1st, 2019, $82,000. That's all per year. Also, council members shall each receive as an annual salary 15% of the salary of the mayor, payable in equal monthly installments. For any council member who shall serve as president of the council shall be an additional $50 per month. And for any council member who shall serve as president pro tem of the council shall be an additional $25 per month.
Thank you.
Do you have a breakdown on what the council will be? No. I thought since we were, I thought we could ask the city council as well.
He wants to know the breakdown. What's the percentage?
If you don't have, no problem.
It's 15%.
Starting off 10,000, I'm sorry, 11,400 per year. Go up $300 the next year more, $300 the next year, $300. So 2,400 first, 2,700 second, 11,000.
I only brought it up because I thought Mr. Stewart said the other night that we're going to break it down in the mayor's and then we're going to break it down to the council the last meeting.
I didn't know how specific you wanted it. I mean, we can read it out whenever we do it. 12,300 last one. 12,300 last year. So basically, getting November 1st, 2016, the mayor made $76,000. The council would make $11,400. Then November 1st, 2017, the mayor $78,000. The council would be $11,700. Then November 1st, 2018, mayor $80,000. The council would be at $12,000. November 1st, 2019, mayor $82,000. council, $12,300. All right, so with that being said, do I have a motion to approve or consider this ordinance?
So, discussed it last week.
Just,
Do I have a motion to consider this ordinance fixing the salary of the mayor and the council? There's no motion.
I'll make that motion.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion?
I'd like to vote on the mayor's and council separate. Unless there's some law that I'm not aware of that says we have to do it together.
Back to the mayor's motion to remove. Motion to remove, seconded.
Any other discussion? Now we'll vote. We're going to do a roll call vote on this as well. Ms. Phillips?
Mr. Gary Stewart,
Yes.
Mr. Miller,
I need to abstain. I don't think it's proper for me to vote on a race for a position I intend to seek.
Mr. Smith,
Yes.
Mr. Wallingsford,
Yes.
Mr. Patrick Stewart.
Yes. So item number 5, consider approval of a budget amendment for $25,000 for the Commercial Development Authority. Do I have a motion to consider approval for a budget amendment for $25,000 for the CDA?
I'll make that motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Not, we'll vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say no.